just a total overreaction. And there's too many people who are fanboys when it comes to Shedeur, even people doing our jobs.
Right.
And dude, let it go. You can't be that invested. Like, something's wrong if you're that invested or you feel hurt because he's not getting what reps you think he should get. Like I don't understand that. I really don't.
I'm with you on
I
that
understand if that's his dad or somebody, but this is why teams wanted to stay away from him.
100%.
Am I right? Because this is going to and you could say whatever you want. It ain't about we want to put him in his place.
Right.
So tired of hearing that as well. Because Tim Tebow faced the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want that. Not when you're not the starting quarterback.
That part.
Right? When you're not.
If you're not the starting quarterback, we cannot deal with the headache of you drawing attention away from the main thing.
Rob Parker goes off on Shedeur Sanders. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Shedeur Sanders, preseason game. People reacted like he won the Super Bowl or something. I'm just not going to be in that camp. Rob G, you can talk about his preseason numbers and whatnot. I mean, just from obviously I was at the convention, but I did watch the highlights.
Yep.
Right, I didn't watch the game live.
Yeah.
Had poise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People make it like people are shocked that he can play. He played major college football. He can play.
Yep.
It's just what degree. That's all we're trying to figure out. It's not whether or not he can. Am I right? There's levels to it.
There's levels to it, yeah.
But let's be honest. Playing the first preseason game of the NFL is just not the same. Kerry, you know this. You played preseason games and you played in the game 3 of the preseason, which is like the dress rehearsal,
yep.
And then opening. Am I right? Is there levels to it?
There's levels to it, yes. First preseason game, you want to come out of that game with your health.
Right, you're not trying to do anything, right.
It's very vanilla. You're playing against base defense. Nobody's showing any exotic looks. It would be the equivalent of a little bit more intense 7-on-7 as far as game plan would go. Like you're not even done with it.
It's not sophisticated, right?
You're not even done with the install yet. So yeah, it's not sophisticated. But again, he came out, like you said, looked poised, looked competent, obviously can make throws. But when you have to really decipher on the fly and have to make changes and do all these things that a top-level quarterback has to do, we're going to have to wait and see what that looks like, right?
Yeah, I get it. People hyping up Shedeur Sanders, but can you blame them? Everything going on with the Cleveland Browns, the front office, the owner speaking up like they didn't know they were going to draft Shedeur. They got 6 quarterbacks on the roster. He's pretty much battling Flacco, the other rookie, Pickett. So it's just a lot going on with that organization and how they're running things. And then you can't forget about Deshaun Watson that's going to be out for the full season and making $230 million. So all that being in play, of course, they're going to hype up Shedeur Sanders. And I'm on the bandwagon as far as Shedeur Sanders. I'm wishing him the best. He showed a lot of poise, and I get it. First preseason game. Can't really go above and beyond that, but still, you got to respect them coming in there, not getting a lot of run in practice and putting up a good game. Multiple touchdowns, some good passes, getting out of the pocket. I'm wishing Shedeur Sanders the best.
Now isn't the time to judge that yet.
And he didn't change in the depth chart. He's still 4th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Today, officially, right? Like they didn't go, oh my God, what were we watching? Oh my God! Take first team reps.
Of course,
Joe Flacco. Here's a walker, or a rocking chair. Sit down. No, that did not happen. Rob G, go ahead.
Well, you mentioned it, guys. He was 14 to 23 for 138, 2 touchdowns. Both of those touchdowns, by the way, great throws.
Yep.
At any level, college, pros, they were great. One rolling to his left, over 2 defenders, corner of the end zone. It was great.
Yep.
As you mentioned, though, Rob, for all of the excitement, the pomp and circumstance surrounding that game, hasn't changed much in the eyes of Kevin Stefanski and that coaching staff because he is still number 4 behind the very old, very mature Joe Flacco.
Yes.
The currently
Who's
injured,
the starter? I mean, you know how this works. He's going to be their starter.
Of course.
the currently injured Kenny Pickett. And, lest we forget, the man taken 2 rounds ahead of him, the Van Wilder of college football, Dylan Gabriel, because he was there for 19 years. So as much as we were all excited about how he played, and he played well, hasn't changed much, if anything.
And here's what I'm going to say, Kerry.
And again, that's all the front office. That's all organizational. We already know Shedeur Sanders should be fighting for that starting job. should be getting a lot more running practice with that first team. A few nights after his debut, he's pretty much back to normal, not getting any running practice. So that lets you know the Cleveland Browns may not be a good option long-term for Shedeur. If I'm Shedeur in this camp, I'm looking to see if there's a team out there I can get traded to, at least be behind the number one quarterback. I'm sure the Los Angeles Rams. That could be a possibility. Matthew Stafford dealing with that back. I wouldn't mind Shedeur Sanders going there for a season, playing behind Stafford, and see if he can get a starting job within the next year or two.
What you got?
Oh, just a total overreaction. And there's too many people who are fanboys when it comes to Shedeur, even people doing our jobs.
Right.
And dude, let it go. You can't be that invested. Like, something's wrong if you're that invested or you feel hurt because he's not getting what reps you think he should get. Like I don't understand that. I really don't.
I'm with you on
I
that
understand if that's his dad or somebody, but
right.
Like you know, Louis Riddick had to come and make what did he do? A retraction because
setting him up for failure.
He was setting him up for failure, and then he had to say, well, clean it up. You know what I mean? Because when you say stuff like that, I mean, if I'm a GM or front office person with the Browns or the coach, really, dude?
Yeah.
Like based on what?
Right.
You got to give me something. They let him start. He played, right?
Yeah, I get it. They're going overboard. The media, mainstream media, calling him a victim, set up for failure. I get it. It's not the ideal situation, but he is a 5th-round pick. But as far as Rob Parker saying that people are going, crazy about this situation, you go crazy too when it comes to LeBron. So we can pick and choose what we go crazy about as far as being fans of these individual sports. But I get it. Deion Sanders, going off, that's one thing. That's his pops. And then people, they may, overreact, get a little bit emotional. Me, I'm just like, you know what? Give him an opportunity. I think he earned it. Hopefully he'll get some more run in the preseason, be able to prove himself, see if he can mimic what he did in the first game in the second and third preseason games and see what happens by week 1 of the regular season.
They didn't put him in, like he didn't take any snaps all year, and then they put him in again. Okay, like what is this? This is why teams wanted to stay away from him.
100%.
Am I right?
Yes.
Because this is
That's
going
it.
to, and you could say whatever you want. It ain't about we want to put him in his place.
Right.
So tired of hearing that as well. Because Tim Tebow faced the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want that. Not when you're not the starting quarterback.
That part.
Right? When you're
If
not.
you're not the starting quarterback, we cannot deal with the headache of you drawing attention away from the main thing, which is.
I agree on that. Having a Shedeur Sanders, that figure, that last name, his pops being Deion, that could be a distraction for a lot of teams that really don't want to deal with that. If you're the Cleveland Browns, all the backlash and all the stuff that they put themselves in, as far as the Deshaun Watson contract, as far as all these quarterbacks on the roster, and the franchise not being what it's supposed to be, I get it. You don't really want to deal with it, but you did draft Shedeur, so you had to expect it was going to be a lot of media backlash if you didn't play him, especially in the preseason, or him getting a lot of run with the first team in practice. So either way, the Cleveland Browns, they did this to themselves. They should have never drafted Shedeur, and they wouldn't have to worry about all the backlash and all the media people talking about them.
It's the team and whoever the number one guy is, because that causes friction in the locker room.
That's why Colin Kaepernick couldn't get another job. Not that he couldn't be a backup quarterback. Yes, he could have been.
Yes.
For years, he could have been a backup quarterback, but there was too much that had to go with him.
Yes.
And you don't want a powwow at his locker every day.
That's right.
I agree with that.
That's right.
That's football.
Yep.
So people don't understand that. And once they looked at him and decided he's not a franchise quarterback, I brought it up a million times. But here's the other part.
Right.
Tony Grossi is a radio talk show host in Cleveland. He used to be a reporter for the Plain Dealer. And for whatever reason, after Shedeur, we don't have sound. Do we have it? No. But Shedeur went at him about he's always negative. Like something was Rob G. Like, Tony, what are you going to say now or something? Well,
Tony, why are you always saying something negative about me? You never say anything positive. I've never done anything to you.
And that's the other thing. Up until, what day was that? Friday? The game?
Mm-hmm.
What had he done to warrant any praise anyway?
Right.
He dropped in the draft. People thought he was going to be a first-round pick to 5th. He had 2 speeding tickets.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting any reps with the first team. I don't know what was Tony supposed to say.
Right. I don't know why he's even going after a reporter right now anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, as far as Shedeur Sanders going off on that reporter, I admit it may be a little bit premature. He still has a lot more work to do. But I get it. He feeling himself. All the media covering him being, treated a certain way in Cleveland. If you want to cover it that way or not, either way, Shedeur got a lot of work to do. Don't flex too early because you may get thrown in that second preseason game and you could stink up the joint. And then those same reporters are going to be scratching their head like, all right, young man, it's cool. You had a good moment, but you still got to have an NFL career. You still got to play in the regular season. So even though you had a great preseason #1, still got a lot more work to do. So if you're Shedeur, less flexing, worry about the task at hand, and try to be a starter for the Cleveland Browns.
What?
You're not going to get anything accomplished. And if that reporter really doesn't like you and whatever, let's say he doesn't like you.
Right.
All you're doing is getting him more ammo to do it again anyway.
But why
that.
would you be – it reminds me of Deion, his first game in Colorado. Ed Werder, right?
Yeah.
He went at him.
Yep.
Oh, what do you say, Rob G? You can't ask any questions. Are you a believer now? Okay, they beat TCU. They were in the national championship. And then we realized TCU wasn't that good. And they didn't have a great – Colorado didn't wind up. They won that game, finished with 6 wins or whatever it was. It wasn't that great after the first couple of weeks.
Right.
But my point is, why should Shedeur be worried about one guy who's on the radio? I could never – even as a guy who's in the media, I had a column, and I used to – you know my saying, if I'm writing, I'm ripping, Kerry. That's going to be the title of my book, right?
If I'm right, I'm ripping.
If I'm writing, I'm ripping. Okay, so I know what that, but I never felt like, why would you care about what a reporter is writing? Seriously, and I'm not saying if I give you false information, incorrect stats.
Right.
But it's just an opinion.
Listen, Rob, when
And
I was
you know this.
when I was playing in New York.
Yeah, again, if you're Shedeur, man, eyes on the prize, ignore the media. People are going to cover you in a positive way, in a negative way. You know, your last name is Sanders, so it could be some stuff there, but Shedeur just got to worry about being a starter. Flacco most likely is going to be the starter leading up to the regular season. As long as Shedeur continues to do his thing, I believe he will get some starts sometime during this season, but the sooner the better if you're Shedeur. And again, if it don't work out, try to see if you can work on a trade. Maybe the Cleveland Browns may not be the franchise for you. But as far as Rob Parker going off on the Shedeur Sanders being overhyped, I get it. But again, people love Shedeur. They love Deion. They love their family. So, of course, if they feel as though the Browns aren't doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to Shedeur, of course, it's going to be covered in mainstream media. A lot of people rock with Deion Sanders. So it's a trickle-down effect when it comes to Shedeur Sanders as far as the respect. Same thing with Bronny James, but Shedeur Sanders is much more talented than Bronny as far as their individual sports. So, but best of luck to Shedeur, and we'll see what happens this upcoming season.